what it's called.
Okay, well, guess what? I am going to teach you this game. It is my favorite card game. I absolutely love it. And it's called Target Number. But before you learn the game, we have to learn some really important properties. And these are the properties that we need to learn. So let's get going on that. So let's see, we've got Tess. Excellent, everybody is here. Are you ready to go? So the first thing I want you guys to do is write down on your piece of paper this property, which is, well, maybe you could just tell me this. Let's use Mr. Kramer's favorite number, 10. And let's add to that the number 0. Let's take the number 8, another one of my favorite numbers, and let's add the number 0. Let's take the number smiley face and add it to 0. Who can tell me, raise your hand electronically if you can, who can tell me what the answer is to each of these questions? Believe it or not, it's a very important property of mathematics. And I got your hands going up like this, but what I would love to see is you put your hand up electronically. Oh my gosh, you did it. I got Cam, Avery, and Tess. Cam, go for it.
10 plus 0 is 10.
Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Let's see what Avery has to say. Go, Avery.
8 plus 0 is 8.
Whoa. And who? Tess. Go for it, Tess. The next one. And Tess, you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself. Really important.
I accidentally raised my hand.
Okay, no problem. Then I'm going to call on Andrew. Go, Andrew.
So smiley face plus smiley face equals smiley face.
Well, does this look like a smiley face?
Oh, I mean 0.
Right. So say the sentence again, please.
Smiley face plus plus 0 equals smiley face.
So what do you guys think about this property? This is actually called, the really cool property, it's called the identity property of 0. Because whenever you add 0 to anything, it's just where you started. Let me see if I can do this. Victoria, Victoria plus 0 is what? Everybody say it out loud.
Victoria!
Right. What about Julian divided by, adding 0 to Julian? What do you get?
Julian!
That's right. Now, what about Gabe? What if we added 0 to Gabe? What would we have?
Gabe!
That's right. Now, just be careful, because if I said, what if we added 0 to Mr. Kramer? And then you might say, well, Mr. Kramer, that's Kramer with a 0 on his head. So, but of course, we know that that would still be Kramer. So now you've just learned a very important property. So let's say that I wanted to get the number 6. I really wanted 6. But guess what? I already had a 6. And I also have a 0. What could I do to get 6? Do I add? Do I subtract? Do I multiply? Or do I divide? What do I do to 6 to get back to 6? Everybody say it out loud. Go.
Minus 6.
You know what? I could add 6, or I could say 6 plus 0, or I could say 6 minus 0. Does it matter? No, it's still 6. So that's a really important one. Now, the next one I want to give you is this. Are you ready? What if I said and I want you guys raising your hand electronically if you know the answer. I'm going to do 6 times 0. Now that little symbol right there means times, okay? That is times. And so 6 times 0, and I'm gonna throw a few more out there. How about 7 times 0? How about smiley face times 0?
What's a smiley
And
face times
let's
0?
see, let's go with Tess.
6 times 0 equals 0.
Oh my gosh, you are awesome. Let's go with Lucia.
Daddy, how do I write smiley face?
And Lucia, did you raise your hand, honey? Oh, you're muted. Okay, that's the problem. So you have to unmute yourself. Try to keep yourself unmuted. Go for it.
7 times 0 equals 0.
I would totally agree with that. And Gabe, can you give me the last one there?
Oh, I forgot to lower my hand. Smiley face times 0 equals 0.
Wow. So, and here's a bonus question for everybody. What about 0 times 0? What do you think we have then?
0.
Everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
0.
And Sabrina led the charge. It is definitely 0, and I think that that's pretty awesome. Now, let me ask you this question. What about Kramer times 0?
0.
0.
Yep, I just disappeared. So if you multiply me by 0, I just go poof, and I disappear into thin air. Now, I'm going to ask you the next one, and the next one is a little bit strange. Are you ready for this? What about 0 divided by 5? So I'm going to take the number 0, and I'm going to divide it by 4. Or what about 0 and I divide it by smiley face? So I want some different hands up answering these questions. So who's got some ideas about when I take 0 and I cut it up into 5 pieces? Or I take 0 and everybody go like this, and I cut it up into 4 pieces. Or I take 0 and I cut it up into smiley face pieces. That's a little strange. Who thinks they know the answer to this one?
I'm messing with
Come on, I want to hear you guys and all your great answers. Nobody even has a guess as to what happens when you do that? Okay, I've got the first brave soul. Victoria, go for it.
On the smiley face, I think that smiley face divided by 0 divided by smiley face would probably be 0.
I'm going to write it down, and then we can talk about it in just a second, because I think that Paul is going to answer 0 divided by 5.
They're all 0.
What? All 0?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me if I take 0 Andrews and I cut him up into every number of pieces, I'm still going to have 0. So I agree with that. That is a really, really important property, and I appreciate everybody helping me get there. But I've got one that's a little strange. Are you ready for the really, really fun one?
Yep.
What about 5 divided by 0?
Ooh.
What about 6 divided by 0? What about unicorn? No, like unicorn divided by 0. And this is a really fun one to do, and your parents might have some fun working on this one. So I'm going to call on, let's see, Ava, what about you? What do you think? This is one of those crazy ones. By the way, Ava, everybody thinks it's 0. It's not 0.
Yeah, I think it's 0.
It's a really weird one. And Lucia, what do you think it is?
I think it's -5.
You think it's -5? That's a cool answer. Avery, what do you think? And I'm just gonna go around the room here. So what about Gabe? And Gabe, you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself, buddy.
I think that 5 divided by 0 equals 5.
So if I took 5 and I cut it up into 0 pieces, you think I would still have 5? That's interesting. I like your answer, but I don't know if that's right. Tess, what do you think?
I think the same as Gabe.
Well, guess what, guys? You get to write down my favorite symbol right now. Are you ready? It is definitely not 0. It is infinity. Everybody write it down. It is infinity. It is infinity. Everybody write that down. Because I'm going to mute somebody here is making a little noise. And then we've got Avery, we're trying to get you back. And guys, I want you to say, never ever divide by 0. Never ever divide by 0. In fact, Mr. Kramer is inventing a calculator that if you try to divide a number by 0, the calculator will start to make smoke come out of it, and it'll start to have big sirens and go, no, you can't divide by 0. So everybody has to know this. You cannot divide by 0. Everybody good? All right. Now, I'm going to ask you all to answer the question at the same time. I take Kramer and I divide him by 0. On 3, say it. 1, 2, 3.
Infinity.
And beyond. Now, by the way, for those young mathematicians who love symbols, infinity can also be expressed as a 0 with a line through it, and it actually means the word undefined. And the reason why we say that is because infinity is not really a number. We can't define it. We can't put a number on infinity. So we actually call that undefined. And it's a really fun symbol. Draw it right now. Make a 0 on your paper anywhere you want, and then put a / through it. Because making the infinity symbol is really an 8 knocked over on its side. We know that. But the undefined symbol means the same thing. When you put in your calculator after this class, and I hope you do it with your parents, say, Mom and Dad, let's see what happens when you divide a number by 0. So you take the number like 5, you hit divide by 0, and some of your calculators will actually say error. Some of your calculators would say infinity. Some of your calculators would say can't divide by 0. So many calculators deal with it differently, but only Mr. Kramer's calculator that I am inventing is going to start to smoke and go through sirens and say, can't divide by 0, can't divide by 0. I just haven't figured out how to make it yet. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. And let's go to the next property. Now, the next property is 25 times 1. These properties are all about the number 1, just like all the other ones were about the number 0. who can tell me what is 25 times 1? And after that, I want to do 15 times 1. And after that, I want to do smiley face times 1. On who's going to answer this question? Lucia, go for the first one.
25 times 1 is 25.
I totally agree. And Avery? Uh-oh, Avery, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
What?
And I can't unmute you. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Avery.
Smiley face times 1 is smiley face.
Whoa, I totally agree with that. Julian, can you tell me about 15 times 1?
15 times 1 is 15.
Oh my gosh. And who's going to tell me about mathletes times 1? What's that?
Athletes.
Mathletes. What about what about awesome children? Awesome children times 1. What do you get?
Awesome children. Easy.
All right. Now, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. But if I take 25 and I change it from multiplication to division, you're not going to believe it, guys. 25 divided by 1 is still 25. If I say 15 cut up into one group, it's 15. If I say smiley face cut them into one group, it's smiley face. So whatever you do, if you multiply by 1 or you divide by 1, it's where you started. So I'm going to try this. Let me see. Ava times 1. Ava. Tess divided by 1. Tess. Okay. How about Sabrina divided by Avery? Uh-oh. You know what that is? That's trouble. That's trouble. That's what I think. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Now, the next one I'm going to do is really important. Are you ready? What about 3 divided by 3? Or 2 divided by 2? And you can also write that as a fraction. 3 divided by 3, 2 divided by 2,
I know.
smiley face divided by smiley face. And who can tell me when you take anything and divide it by itself? Everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Come on, what do you think it is?
The same number? The same thing.
No, but watch this, guys. I think you're gonna like this.
0?
No.
Infinity?
What if I took a whole circle and I divided it into 2 pieces? So I take a whole and I divide it into 2 pieces. Each piece would be
1/2.
1/2. But what if I took 2 holes, 2 circles, and divided it into 2 groups? Each group would be 1. What if I took 3 circles and divided that into 3 groups? Each group would have just 1. So if you take any number and divide it by itself, are you ready? Andrew divided by Andrew is Andrew. Victoria divided by Victoria is
Victoria.
Is that right? No, we said that if you divide anything by itself, it would be 1. So Andrew divided by Andrew is 1. Victoria divided by Victoria is 1. Julian divided by Julian is
It's 1.
1. Anything divided by itself. And by the way, guys, look at the next one, which is going to be 1 divided by 1, which is 1 whole. That's just 1. And the only one that doesn't work,
It's 0.
Divided by 0.
that is not 1.
It's -1.
Well, that's a really fun one. But remember what we said, that if you ever divide by
That's
0,
the number before 0.
if you ever divide by 0, you're going to get infinity or undefined. So if you try to divide by 0, it's not going to be 1. It's going to always be infinity and beyond. Now, the last one should be pretty easy for you, but I want to try it anyway. Ready? 1 times 1. Go.
1.
Okay, guess who's ready for target number? You guys are ready for the game now, and here we go. The way target number is played is that you have a deck of cards and you take away all the jacks, the queens, and the kings. So you're going to take away 12 cards, no jokers, and all you're going to have is ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10 of 4 different suits. So who knows what 4 times 10 is? Say it out loud. On 3, 1, 2, 3, go. Say it out loud there. Oh, Gabe is trying to say it, but he's muted.
40.
Or is that
40.
Oh, it's 40. So guys, you're gonna have 40 cards. And here's what you do. Here is what you do. You draw 6 cards. The first 5 cards are face up. And that's what you're gonna work with. The last card, the 6th card, is called your target number. Can everybody say that?
Target number.
Okay, that means that we want to get to the number 8. Now, let's think about it. If we say, wait a minute, Mr. Kramer, we have an 8 in our deck. So what if we were able to add 0? What if we were able to add 0 to 8? Would we get our target number?
Yes.
Yes. What if we were able to multiply 8 by 1? Would we get our target number? Yes, you would. So guess what, guys? All I have to do is make 0 or 1 out of these cards. So how do we do that? Let's see. Mr. Kramer is going to take the 10 and the 7. Now, if I want to get a 3, how would I get a 3 with the 10 and the 7? How would I do that?
Minus some.
So what would I need to do between 10 and 7 to get 3? Would I add it? Would I multiply it? Would I divide it? What do you guys think I should do? And say it out loud if you've got an idea.
Nothing.
If I should add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What do you think? How do I get 3? I have 10 and I have 7. What do you think I do?
Subtract.
Of course. Subtract 7 from 10 and you get 3. Now remember, I'm looking for a 1 or a 0. Wait a minute, guys. Do I have a 4 now? Couldn't I do 4, take away this 3? And what do I get? Who knows 4 take away 3? Go.
1.
And uh-oh, I have a 1, but I still have an ace that I haven't used. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that ace and I am going to multiply it by 1. Ace, which is 1, times this 1. Who knows what it is? 1 times 1 is what? Go.
1.
You are right. So guess what? I can now take the last card, which is 8, and I can multiply it by 1. And who knows what 1 times 8 is?
8.
You get 8. Now, a lot of kids will play this game and they'll say, hey, I'm going to start to see if I can get 8. So here's what they try to do. Are you ready? They say, okay, let's take 10 and let's take away 8. So who knows what 10 minus 8 is? Go.
2.
And then they say, let's take 7 and let's take away that number 2. What do you get now?
5.
5. And then, wait a minute. Do I have something special here? What if I were to say 4 take away 1? What would that give me?
3.
And wait a minute, I need 8. Can you see what I'm gonna do with the 3 and the 5? What should I do?
Make it together. Add.
Oh my gosh. I heard Paul and I heard a bunch of other people say, Mr. Kramer, add 3 plus 5 and you get 8. And guess what? You just won. Now, the way this game works is if you're playing with another person, you put out the 6 cards, you say, this is my target number, and then both players or even 3 players try to solve the puzzle. Whoever solves the puzzle first, guess what? They get to keep the 6 cards. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most cards is going to win. So what I want to do now is I want to introduce you guys to a really cool website that I gave you a link for. Now that website is called random.org. And here's how it works. I programmed it to take out the jacks, the queens, and the kings. I also programmed it to have no jokers. And all it's gonna have is ace through 10, 4 times, 40 different numbers. Every time I hit the word again, it gives me another set of numbers. Now let's try this. I'm gonna go again and shuffle the cards. So here's what I got. I just got a 2, a 9, a 9, a 4, a 7, and a 5. Now we're gonna put that into our file. And here we go. Let's see if I can get this. And yes, here we go. Now we're gonna let the target number be a 5. And I want you guys to think about helping Mr. Kramer solve this puzzle. And remember, if we can solve it, we get all 6 points. 5 is our target number. What would you guys like to do first? Now, I see right off the bat, and we're not gonna do this. Maybe we'll do this. I see that 9, wait a minute. What do you see?
5.
I heard somebody say 9 and 5. Talk to me. Who has a strategy for getting 5 with all of these numbers? Remember, we have to use all the numbers. Who's going to take the first step? Who's going to raise their hand and take the first step here?
You're right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Who's going to take a shot at it? All right. Go, Victoria.
I was thinking you could do, what did he say again? 5 times. Actually, I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Cam, you actually raised your hand. You just have to unmute yourself. And
I forgot.
who else do I have? Do I have Lila as well? Go ahead, Lila.
9 minus 4.
Whoa. Everybody look at Lila's. Now, Lila, guess what? You just got our target number, Lila, but we have to get rid of the other cards. Now, who can figure out a way to make 7, 9, and 2 disappear and become 0? Or become 1. If it becomes 0, then we could take Lila's 5 and add it to 0. If we get a 1, we can take Lila's 5 and multiply it by 1.
Actually, no.
What do you think we can do? Lucia, I called on you, honey. You were raising your hand. Go ahead.
I think it could be 9, and then 9, and then take away 7, and then do the 2.
Wait a minute. Hold on. 9, take away 7, guys. I'm getting kind of excited here. I think she's on to something. Who knows 9 minus 7? Go.
2.
And then what do you think we should do now? There's one more card left. What can we do with the 2 to get to a 0? Go ahead, Gabe.
Subtract the 2 and the 2 to equal 0. Then add the 2 with the 5. Then you get your number.
Oh my God. You guys are going to be amazing at this game. Take the 5 and the 0 and add them together, and boom, you got your target number. Now, guys, I cannot believe, first of all, you know who got me started on this. Lila was the one who got me started with 9, take away 4. And I think that was really special. And then everybody else helped to get me there. Now, we're going back to random.org because I want to grab another set of cards. Are you ready? Avery, you had your hand up, honey. Go ahead.
Can you make sure you get all of these stuff out? I couldn't hear you while you were doing it.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great, 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 great. All right, ready, guys? I'm going to shuffle the cards. Are you ready? Here they go. Uh-oh. You know what, guys? This one is going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of 10s in it. There's a lot of 10s in it. And I wonder what you guys are going to do with all those 10s. So the first thing we know is that our target number is a 1. Now that is an interesting challenge. That's a very, very interesting challenge. And so I'm going to open this up to you guys. Who's going to start with the first strategy? And I'm going to call on Tess. And Tess, get us started on your strategy here, please.
10 minus 9 equals 1.
All right. So 10 minus 9 equals 1. And that's our target number. But remember, guys, I have to get rid of the other 10, and the 2. So how am I going to do that? Who's going to help me? Raise your hand if you can help me with that. So I'm going to go with Lila here.
I also had another way to get to 1.
And how would that be?
2 minus 1.
Ooh, that would be cool, but you don't have another ace here. But wait a minute. We could also Lila, we could also take 2 and take away this one. And so 2 take away 1 would also be 1. That's kind of cool. Now, who's got the next strategy? Victoria?
I was thinking we could do, we could do 10 minus 10. We can do 10 minus 10. And
Minus 10.
Did you just use, Victoria, the 0 property of identity by taking 10, take away 10, and saying that that was 0? That is awesome. And what are we left with, guys?
9 and 2.
We're left with a 1 and a 0. What am I going to do with those to get to 1? Who's got that? Cam, go for it.
1 plus 0.
That's it, guys. You just solved the second puzzle, and I can't believe you did it. That was amazing. Did anybody else have another approach, a different way of solving the same puzzle? Because I want to tell you something. My older mathletes, they're going to be asked to find many solutions to each one. Many, many, many solutions. Who thinks they have an idea? Andrew, you want to get me started? Something that's a little bit different here.
About 10 minus 9.
Gabe, do you have your hand up? Do you
Yeah.
have an idea?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
I thought it could start out the same as that one. Instead of when we got to that 1, we could add the 1 with the 10, then subtract the 10 with that 1. Then we would get our number.
Wow, that is so, so cool. Now, guys, you want to see something fun? Are you ready? Watch this. Who can tell me what 10 take away 10 is? So 10 take away itself. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
0.
0.
And who can tell me what is 0 times 2? So 0 times 2. Go. What do you guys think it is?
0.
It is 0. Now, wait a minute. I've now got a 0, but I still have 2 cards left. Can anybody tell me what happens when I say 10 minus 9? What do I get? And if I have a 1 and a 0, how am I going to get to 1? Come on, everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
1 plus 0.
Equals 1. Oh my gosh, we did it again. Now, I want everybody to write down on a piece of paper the next sequence. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shuffle the cards again. And I just got 6 as my target number. So I want you guys to write down the 6 numbers that we just got. And I'm going to make them a little bit bigger for everyone to see in just a
Come on,
second.
Kim. Kim, what you doing? Focus. We're almost done.
And everybody write down these cards, please. And remember, 6 is your target number. So if you guys put a little T or circle the 6, that'll be helpful. Now, I want everybody working to try to solve this. Now, if you solve it and you're waiting for the other kids, you know what you can do? You can solve it a different way, and then a different way, and then a different way. Now, Lila, if you already solved it, try to solve it a different way.
7 minus 1 equals 6.
So try to solve it a different way. And remember, you have to use all the cards. And once you solve it, just like Lila did, raise your hand electronically and leave your hand up. And that way I know that I can call on
How
you
did you go from?
when we start to look at it.
I would start from the 10.
Yeah.
Then subtract 3.
Now you guys should be picking up that, everybody show me their pencil. I want to see that you're using a pencil or a pen right now. Now put it on that paper and start calculating. Try many, many, many different things. Ava, are you working right now? I want to see your pencil there, kiddo.
Come on,
Right.
Kim. Take it off of the little thing. Come on.
Oh, Cam, I don't see you writing. I need to see a
Come on,
piece of
Kim.
paper, and I need to see a pencil, and I need to see you writing. Because that's the only way to solve these problems. All right, Lila, while everybody's working, Lila, tell me your method. Go.
10 minus 7 equals 3. I have everything written down.
Minus 7 equals 3.
Wow. Lila, go.
3 plus 2 equals, wait. 3 plus 2,
No, 10 minus 7 equals 3. Equals 5.
Wait.
5 plus 3 equals 6.
10 minus 7 equals 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 plus 2
Wait, honey, go ahead and say it again, Lila. We have 10 minus 7 is
10
3.
minus 7 equals 3.
10 minus 7 equals 3. 10 minus 7 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5.
Okay, hold on. 3 plus 2
And
equals 5.
get the 6 at the same time.
Keep going.
5 plus 1 equals 6. Oh,
And then,
Mom,
hold on. 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 equals 6. And I think we've used all the cards. Now, Lila, tell me how we're going to get from this 3 and 6 to the 6.
What? There's a little background noise in my.
Yeah, so. And so go ahead, Lila.
Yeah.
Any way that we can get from 6 and 3 to 6.
Next to 3.
Yeah, so we could subtract 3 from 6, but we get 3. We can divide 6 by 3 and we get 2. Why don't you try again and see if you can get to the number 6? That was a great try. Julian, would you like to share your method? Go for it. Julian, if you have your method. Now, let's see. I don't see any other hands up. Anybody want to share their solution? Gabe, I'm going to ask you to share your solution. Go.
Me? Me?
Go, Gabe.
I think 10 minus 3 equals 7. So if you oh no, it doesn't equal. It equals 3 like the last one.
Well, you know, there's a way to get there. I mean, if you can somehow get a 1 to subtract, but unfortunately we still have a 7 and a 2. Does anybody else have any different ideas? Gabe, that was a great try, just like Lila's was awesome. Who's going to take a shot at it? How about you, Andrew? How about you, Lucia? How about you, Tess?
Okay.
How about you, Victoria? Sabrina? Lucia, why don't you give it a shot?
Okay. 10 minus 3 is 7. Then put up 2.
You want me to take 2?
And then minus 1.
So you want me to do 2 minus 1?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 minus 1 is what?
Nope. That's 6.
And 2 minus 1 is what, sweetheart?
6.
Well, 2 take away 1. 2 take away 1. What is that?
2 take away 1.
If I have 2 and I
7.
take away 1, I have just 1. So that is 1. Is that going to help you? Are you going to be able to get to 6? Well, that was a great try also. Now, who else is going to give it a shot? Victoria, go for it, kid.
I was thinking we could add the 1 to the 2, and then we could take the 3, and since 1 plus 3, I was thinking we could take the 3 from that equation and put it onto the other 3, and then that would be 3 minus 3.
And that equals what, Victoria?
0.
Yes. Now, I have a 0, but I have a 7 and a 10 left. How am I going to get from 0 and 7 and 10 to 6? So I want you guys to think about that. Gabe, do you have another way you think you can get there?
Mhm.
All right, go for it. And
I
keep
think
trying, guys. Keep trying. Don't stop working.
it's still 10 minus 3 equals 7. Then 7 minus 7 equals 0. Then 0.
Wait, hold on. So
0.
10 minus 3 equals 7. 7 minus 7
No, you're right.
equals 0. Keep going.
0 plus 2 equals 2.
Hold on. 0 plus 2 equals 2. Now you have a 2.
And then 2 minus 1 equals oh no.
Well, you know what? Dude, you came really close. 2 minus 1 is 1, or 2 plus 1 is 3. You got so close to 6. Now, does anybody think they have 6? Andrew, I want to hear from you, buddy. Go for it.
I knew it I already knew the equation I just didn't want to say it. I already knew the equation. 3 plus 3.
Well, where do you see another? First, tell me how to get the first. I have a 3 right here, but how do I get the other 3?
Oh, so like I didn't think about that.
Okay. Well, don't you see, Andrew, that you can do 2 plus 1 to get 3?
Yeah.
And then if you took that 3, you could add it to this 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that would get you 6. The problem is you now have a 7 and a 10. How are you going to get rid of the 7 and the 10 so you can get 6? And that's really hard to do. Cam, do you have any ideas for us?
No.
Okay, Victoria, what about you?
I was thinking, again, we could add the 1 to the 2 and then take both of the 3s. Though this time it's different. We take both of the 3s and add them together to make 6.
But then we still have the 7 and the 10 to deal with. What are we going to do? Okay, would you guys like to watch Mr. Kramer try to solve it?
Yes.
Let's see if I can solve this, okay? The first thing I want to do is I want to get, let's see, if I take, ooh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I could take a 4. Ooh, I think I have it. Are you guys ready? Here we go. 7 take away 1 is what?
6.
All right. So 7 take away 1. Let's see, do I want to do that? 7 take away 1. Oh, no, no, no. Everybody check this out. Let's do 7 take away 3. Who knows what 7 take away 3 is? Go.
2.
Well, if I have 7 and I take away 3, you know I don't have 2. What do I have?
4.
I have 4. Remember, 5 take away 3 is 2, but 7 take away 3 is 4. Now watch this, guys. Are you ready? What is 10 take away 4? Come on, guys. I have 10 and I take away 4. I have 10 and I take away 4. I get 6. Now, hold on a minute. Remember, I always say to you, how are you going to get rid of the other cards? Well, look at what we have left. We have a 2 and a 1. Couldn't we say 2 minus 1 is what? Go.
1.
And watch what we do with the 1 and the 6. 6 times 1 is what?
6.
And we did it. So I used a lot of your ideas to make this work. Who's ready for the next one? Give me a blank sheet of paper, and get ready to write these down. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Write them down, guys. Go.
All the equations.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, the target number now is 5. The target number now is 5, one of my favorite numbers. And remember, we have to get rid of all these cards and use them to get the number 5. So remember, before you raise your hand, make sure that you write down all the different things. Like for instance, I can see Julian writing at a feverish pace right now because he's thinking. Anybody who's not writing can't be doing this because even adults need to write it down. It's so much better when we write it down. So even adult mathematicians write it down. So if adult mathematicians write it down, then you kids should write it down. Three. All right. So Avery, are you with me here? Good, good. You working on this? Cool. And everybody's working here. I'm going to give you another minute, and then I'm going to start with Victoria. Victoria, make sure you check your calculations to make sure that they all work. Paul, are you working on this? Okay, good. Good, good, good. How about you, Cam? You working on it?
Yeah. Yep. And I think I finished it.
Awesome. All right. Who is going to try first here? Victoria, you want to go for it?
Yeah. 7 minus 7 is 0.
Whoa. That's exactly how I would have started. What a cool idea. 7 minus 7 is 0. Awesome. What are you going to do now?
Ooh, I just got one. 5 with all these numbers. And I have to use everything.
Keep going, kid.
Okay. Me?
Well, Victoria, you were going to, did you solve this one or do you want me to come back to
I'm
you?
going to do another one.
Okay, cool. So, Cam, could you take me through your idea? Go.
I think it's 710.
So if we...
Tell me what you mean. What do you want to do
I mean,
with
like,
7 and 10?
10 minus 7.
Ooh, I like the way you corrected that. That's beautiful. So we'd say 10 minus 7 equals
You use the same cards multiple times.
equals what, Cam? You have to finish the sentence.
4.
Yeah, we can't.
Pretty close. 10 minus 6 equals 4. What is 10 minus 3, Cam?
I'm getting kind of confused.
Okay. So Cam, watch me. Watch Mr. Kramer with my hands, okay? Watch what happens if I take my 10 fingers and I take away 7 of them. How many do I have left?
3?
Exactly. So 10 minus 7 is 3. And I think I see where you're going. What's the next step?
That's the only one I have.
Okay, well, remember, we need to get to 5. Do you see a 2 here, Cam?
Oh, yeah.
Cam, what if we add 3 plus 2? What do we get?
5.
But wait a minute. Don't get too excited yet, Cam. We have to get rid of the 8 and the 7. Can we do it? Can we do it? Let's do it.
I think we can.
Come on, let's do it. 8.
8 minus 7.
Yes, is what, guys?
5.
Come on, 8 take away 7
1.
is 1. And everybody, Cam, check it out. 5 times 1
It's 5.
5. And Cam, you were the first one to get there. And that was awesome. Now, Gabe, we have time for one more. Go, Gabe.
7 minus 7 equals 0.
Wait, say it again.
7 minus 7 equals 0. 8 plus 8 equals 8. 8 plus 2 equals 10. 10 minus 10 equals 0.
And guess what? I totally agree. But my friend, you have a bunch of zeros. You got a 0 here and you have a 0 here, but you need to get to what target number?
5.
5. Now, Gabe, you just gave me an idea. The next time I teach this game, Gabe, I might make the jokers actual zeros. So that might be a great way, but I don't really have 0 here. Now, Victoria, you had your hand up. Go.
Not the whole thing, but it's just for 1. So we can take the 7 and the 2 and then make it into 10, and then we take...
Whoa, hold on. 7 and 2, do you want to add them?
Yeah, I was adding them.
Okay, so add 7 and 2, and what do you get?
9.
9 is correct. How are we going to get from 9 to 5? Any ideas? We have
Minus
to take
4.
We have to take
Minus
away 4.
4.
But with a 10, an 8, and a 7, I don't know if we're going to get a 4. Now, I want everybody to stop working right now and look up at my screen.
Oh.
Victoria gave me a great idea, and so I think did Gabe. I'm not sure. 7 minus 7 is 0. And I love 0. Watch this, guys. I'm now going to take 0, and I'm going to multiply 0 times 8. And 0 times 8, everybody on 3, 1, 2, 3 is 0. Now watch this. Who remembers what happens when we take 10 and we divide it by 2? Everybody go like this. Hold up 10 fingers and divide it in half. What do we get? What's 10 divided by 2? 5. And watch, guys. Take the 0 and the 5 and add them together, and there is our target number. I want to thank the mathletes for doing this. Now, guys, some of you are going to say, Mr. Kramer, I don't have cards at house. Well, guess what? I made you a deck of cards. It's in your packet on page 5. It is a deck of cards, and you could cut out the cards to play this game. I also gave you a whole bunch of practice problems and answers so you can do this. Get going and have some fun. Let's count back from -10 to 0. Are you ready? -10. Go.
-9.
9. Negative.
-8.
Negative.
-7.
-6. -5. -4. -3. -2. -1.
But never say negative.
Zero.
2, 4, 6, 8.
8.
Ooh, do we appreciate mathletes. So, mathletes, I'll see you in 167 hours. I love you guys. You are the best mathematicians on the planet. I can't wait to see you next. You guys take care. Say goodbye to your friends.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, cool kids.